Cricket is perhaps the only sport in the world where different playing conditions create extremely different challenges. In the heat of Asia, the challenge is spin.
Gone, that's it, it's all over.
In Australia, it's pace and bounce. And in England, the ball swings and seams a lot, posing one of the toughest challenges for a batsman.
Oh, good ball from Jimmy Anderson.
On today's edition of Star Lab, we decode the technique needed to survive and succeed when the swinging and seaming ball plays tricks in the air and off the pitch.
When the conditions are favouring the bowler, when it's overcast and it starts seaming, however set you are or however good your form is, you always struggle. You look to play close to your body because the bowlers are going to dominate. The ball suddenly starts swinging, there's lateral movement off the wicket.
The toughest part about playing in overseas conditions, in particular in England, is the ability of the ball to be able to not only swing conventionally but also reverse swing. So they're two sort of separate challenges. Plus also how the game can change and vary depending on the overhead conditions. You can find yourself in unbelievable touch with the game progressing exactly how you want it to be, and then all of a sudden the clouds will roll in, the skies will become leaden, and then the ball will start to talk a lot more on the wickets. And you have to really be prepared within your own game to accept the fact that sometimes the ball's going to dominate.
There is an interesting statistic which looks at the top 6 batsmen of each country playing both seam and swing, which is effective. And it shows that not only did the batsmen struggle against the swing bowling in England, they've actually struggled much more against seam bowling in the last 5 to 6 years.
Facing swing in England is extremely tough, especially if you haven't grown up in these conditions. Among the current Indian batsmen, Virat is the only one who averages more than 35. But even the best in the business had to go through a lean patch in 2014. He worked on his technique and turned it around in the year 2018. There are numerous variables in England. How much will the ball move? And in which direction? The answers lie in the right technique.
You need to have a perfectly clear head to score runs in England, and obviously technique is important as well, but even people with not that strong techniques have been able to score well there because of their good mindsets. And I wasn't able to get out of that desperation. That continued, and the bowling attack obviously was quality as well. They kept the ball in the right areas, but I thought what I was doing there was I was expecting the in-swinger too much. I used to stand at 2 leg and my stance was pretty closed. And then after my initial movement, I figured out that my initial movement was my toe wasn't going towards point, rather it was towards cover point. So anyways, I have a strong bottom hand grip. I didn't have too much room for my shoulder to adjust to the line of the ball, so it was too late for me to react to anything that swung from in front of my eyes. Then I realized, even I took some help from Sachin as well. He made me realize the importance of approaching the fast bowler the way you approach a spinner, is to get on top of the ball, not worrying about the pace or the swing. You got to get towards the ball, and then you give the ball lesser chance to move around and trouble.
First of all, it is very important to keep an eye on your wrist of the bowlers. I think it gives you a lot of indications whether it's going to be outswing or in swing. And then it's important to know your off stump. Because the ball's going to be swinging around, ball's going to be seaming around. So which one to play, which one to leave. That's going to be key. Using your footwork, especially your front foot stride has to be a long stride where you can wait for the ball to come close to you, and then you can play your shot. You can't reach out with your backs, and you can't reach out and play with hard hands.
English conditions demand a certain type of training, especially for the players from the subcontinent. Adapting and adjusting, both physically and mentally, is crucial.
I think especially when you're coming out of T20 cricket, you got to control your backswing. I think that's very important, because when you're playing T20 cricket, you always want to hit hard. Here in Test cricket, you have to let the ball come to you. So there are a couple of drills which batsmen can do. but preparations is going to be key. Those tennis ball which swings around. There are a few lighter balls which swings, especially on English conditions. You sometimes you get that spongy bounce that could help you.
I was batting about 3 hours non-stop every day. I had cramps in my forearms by the end of the week. I did that for about 10 days, but in golf they say you got to hit a shot about 400-500 times before you can actually perfect that shot. So it was more about precise practice where I wanted to tune my head to play that way.
Preparation is very important when you're facing a bowler who's bowling at 90 miles per hour, because you don't have time to think. You have to trust your instincts, you have to sharpen your reflexes, and that can happen only in the practice sessions prior to the competition. Using the bowling machine, playing the balls which are coming at 100 and 110, because how much ever challenging your practice session is, that much easier your life will be out there in the match.
Finding success against a swinging and seaming ball is arguably one of the toughest challenges for a batsman. It takes real skill to do it, and only the truly extraordinary can do it consistently.